This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24. Hi there folks, my name is NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 26th of April for another episode, and I hope this episode finds you all safe, well and indoors. Just a quick update for those who may have missed it on my social channels this week. So I've sadly, my computer, my main rig, which I normally do all my work from, both for my business, for work, and also for flight simming and everything, all the content I bring to you guys, the CPU decided to die this week. So unfortunately, that has caused me significant issues, and given global supply issues and the sheer cost of parts at the moment, I honestly am not sure when I'm going to be able to bring content, so more aviation sort of review content to you guys, or any live stream content to you in the upcoming future. I'm not sure when I'll be back online. So this episode is coming to you via my Surface Book. So I'm hopefully that this quality is not too bad. But issues notwithstanding, the news does go on. The content still gets released. So we're going to jump into it this week with some X-Plane 11 releases. The first one being from TalkSim. TalkSim are releasing their rendition of the Britten-Norman BN2 Islander. Now, this aircraft, I've got to say, I've always loved it. It perplexes me, and it's really for me a showcase of the waning the waning of British aviation manufacturing. When we saw what was an exceedingly capable aircraft just not get marketed and not get sort of promoted and just not do very well, which is very, very sad, really. Because the Islander is a light twin propeller regional airline utility aircraft that was it's stalled for its stalled performance. And still, it operates in a lot of areas where short takeoff, short field performance is important. What made it interesting is that it was designed not to run on a turboprop. It actually runs on piston engines rather than turboprops. So it doesn't suffer the lag that turboprop aircraft can do, and the piston engines actually give it a bit more of an operating envelope as well. So as I said, it's an incredible aircraft. It's a very perplexing aircraft in some ways, but it's a very beautiful in its own ugly way. And it's great to see that it's a beautiful rendition of it has come to X-Plane 11. Now this rendition is a highly accurate rendition that includes a highly accurate 3D model, including full implementation of PBR 4K texturing throughout the internals and the externals of the model. Includes a high fidelity FMOD sound pack with sounds recorded from the real aircraft. Includes custom avionics, including the KFC 225 autopilot, GTX 345 transponder, ADF chronometer, and others as well. A full slew of custom systems have been modeled, including a custom electrical system and custom fuel management system. Also includes an integration of the default X-Plane GNS 530-430 systems, custom payload manager, and an interesting one, which is something that is starting to become more common, I'm noticing, is a persistent system modeling, which basically means where the aircraft, when you reload, like you fly the aircraft, you fly it, all great, and then when you finish your sim session for the day, you close your sim, all good, then you come back to your airplane, a couple weeks about later or whatever, your switches and your engine state and the aircraft state will be exactly as it was when you left it. That's cool. It's one of those little things. I hope you can also turn that off. That's the only thing I have to say. I do hope you can turn it off. So this one is available from X Aviation, coming in at $40 or your original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases, and the juggernaut of Aerosoft and Simwings have released their latest scenery for Ibiza in Spain. So Ibiza Airport, Lima Echo India Bravo, is a seasonal airport, having very few routes during the full year. Mostly its services, it's incredibly packed during the summer months when it becomes a tourist destination. And having flown into this airport myself and spent time in Ibiza during my younger days, when we shall not talk about, in some ways, we shall not talk about some of the things I got up to on those islands. But anyway, um, it is. I can definitely say that it's a very interesting character, and basically as a destination, it only really thrives during the summer. Um, for those who are into your house and trance music, because pretty much you've probably made a pilgrimage there at some point, or at least will intend to at some point in your life. Now, this is not only does this release come through giving a highly detailed rendition of the airport, including all airport buildings as it appears during, it doesn't actually specify. I'm going to guess 2019. It may be 2020, though I can't see anything in the press release about that. Fully customized SAM jetways, fully compatible with with world traffic, and full implementation of PBR materials on buildings and ground textures as well. Not only do you include the airport, it actually includes a full set of photo reel for the airport at 0.25 meters per 25 centimeters per pixel. But you get both the island of Ibiza and the island of Formentra are both covered in 50 centimeter per pixel resolution aerial imagery and custom mesh. That is awesome. For the low and slow flyers like myself, it also includes a variety of custom landmark objects and a variety of static objects throughout the islands as well to give us something and plenty of things to go and explore. So it's looking like it's another quality product coming front to us from SimWings and Aerosoft. This one's available now for $25 US or the original equivalent from Aerosoft or your favorite flight sim retailer. Continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases, Vertical Sim have released their latest the latest airport release of Sarasota International Airport for X-Plane 11. So this one is another one of their latest release, coming in with a full set of PBR texturing throughout and designed and imported into a very busy airport in Florida. So this one includes custom PBR for all airport buildings and all ground textures, and a slew of custom objects and ground vehicles throughout the airport as well. Includes highly detailed ortho imagery of the airport and immediate surrounds. Includes color match 3D grass and over 500 custom trees. Why does everybody always talk about how many custom trees they have in their release? Why? Anyway, it's designed to be fully compatible with both the Vertical Sim products of V-States Florida, and also designed to be compatible with Orbix's True Earth Florida as well, so that's great to see. As I said before, full implementation of PBR on buildings and ground textures, full implementation of 3D grass throughout the airport, full gate position support, and fully compatible with World Traffic 3, Traffic Global, and Live Traffic support. Includes a custom edited ortho imagery of the airport, as well as custom ground objects, custom trees, as they went on ad nauseum before, and also custom night lighting for the airport and surrounding area as well. So this one's coming in for a pretty standard price for these guys, coming in at $18 US or the original equivalent, available now from Vertical Sim. Continuing on with simulation releases, but this time moving away from X-Plane 11 and moving into the ESP world. No. It's actually all prepared releases this week. There's no legacy ESP platform releases this week. So Taxi to Gate have rebooted their rendition of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong's Kai Tak Airport. So they first released this scenery back in 2014. So it's come a long way. The airport's changed a fair bit since then. So they've updated their rendition as the airport appears at the end of 2019. Now this is designed and will only work with Prepared v4, Prepared v4 and above, so it is Prepared v4 and Prepared v5 native, so will not work with any of the 32-bit ESP platforms. This release includes updated custom ground textures, custom photo scenery, custom terrain mesh for the airport as it is an island, includes hand-placed autogen, carefully placed 3D objects, full detail buildings, updated ground markings, static objects, included updated night illumination, volumetric graph, and SOD supported jetways are all included. So as I said, pretty good stock quality stuff. Taxi to Gate, always a great company there. This one's coming in for $27 US or the original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with prepared V4 and V5 releases, Sierra Simulations released their latest airport in their rendition of Nubia Airport. So this is another regional airport in South America, in Colombia this time, and is primarily served by a lot of turboprop aircraft. And this one is a really interesting one actually because they've picked this one because it has it's a sloped runway. It's fairly subtle, but it has one. Um, so I'm probably going to cut to the chase on this one. So this release supports the sloped runway features of Prepared V5, which is really interesting. Now, the unfortunate part is that it doesn't specify whether they also include a custom one for that for supporting in Prepared V4 4.5. So as I said, like this is a version Prepared V 4.5 and Prepared V5 release. Now they highlight the fact that they do include the sloped runway that is actually on the airport, but they don't specify whether that's a V5 exclusive, which, as we all know, is a integrated part of the new version of Prepared from Lockheed Martin. Otherwise, this is a up-to-date layout of the runway of the airport as it appears in 2020. Includes photoreal ground textures for all of the airport and as well the city of Manizales and its major buildings have all been rendered in custom 3D models as well. Full implementation of PBR textures for airport buildings and airport features includes updated of AutoGen for the surrounding area as well. Includes a variety of airport objects, SODE windsocks have included, as well as updated dynamic lighting and PAPI lighting models and runway lights as well, designed to be fully compatible with Orbix, FTX Global, Vector, and OpenLC South America. So, pretty cool setup. This one. This one's available from SimMarket, coming in at $16 or original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with another scenery release this week from Flight Sim Developer Groups, FSDG. They released their rendition of King Shaka International Airport. So this is a incredibly important South African airport and serves the city of Durban in South Africa and is home to a lot of long haul routes sort of for people traveling in and out of South Africa. Now, this rendition of the airport is as it appears at the 2020. Includes up-to-date layout, includes all airport buildings have been models, includes full support of full use of PBR materials on the ground textures, and full includes up-to-date accurate 3D modeling, includes a variety of additional stuff, including it actually includes not just the as it appears in 2020, it actually includes the to be completed this year Foxtrot apron and extended Bravo taxiway as well. So it's actually future-proofing this add-on, which is kind of cool. Includes Dubai Trade Port, just near the airport as well. Includes a variety of AI traffic schedules, or supports AI traffic schedules for My Traffic Live and Traffic Global, which are included in the package. Includes SODE and GSX jetways and full support for PBR ground and dynamic lighting as well. So this one's available. Now this one's, as I said, this one's a bit of a victim of FSCG's policies at the moment. So this one is only available to European pilots at the moment because it's only available through their web store and it's coming in at €18. At this stage, it has not yet been released to the resellers for those of us who are outside of the EU. Hopefully, we should see that fairly soon, but we're not sure when that will come out. And hopefully, once it does, hopefully keep an eye out for SimMarket, which is their usual release point. So as I said, if you're in the EU, this one's available now. If you're outside the EU, we've got to wait for this one. So, but yes, it should be a good place for us to travel into South Africa. Available now. And rounding out the Flight Sim releases for the week, the guys over at Pilots released their latest rebooted Flight Sim Global Mesh in the form of Flight Sim Global Ultimate NG 2020. Oh, what a mouthful that always is. Okay, so what is terrain mesh? I hear this question all the time. Okay, so terrain mesh is the pointy bits and the valleys. So the tops of mountains and the bottoms of valleys and the shapes of the shape of the terrain is what the terrain mesh basically does. Basically, think of it like the wireframe that your terrain tiles, whether they be photoreal tiles or whether they be geotypical textures that they sit upon. Pilots has pretty much been the number one staple, like pretty much the number one supplier of terrain mesh for globally for as long as I've been flight simming for. That's for sure. So this is their latest release in their next gen series, which is the third release in the next gen series. Now this one is really actually kind of interesting. So it's apparently it's up to date with additional up to date data from 2020. So it's not still, so again, like the couple of latest releases, it's not just a rebash of the SRTM data. It has updated base mesh and includes bathymetry data for prepared users by default. So you don't have it's not a separate installation anymore. It's actually in there by default. Updated algorithms and includes resolution up to 1 meter, which is pretty important for those of us who do low and slow flying. Um, and the source data has been manually corrected for any kind of glitches as well, so that's kind of cool. The interesting thing about this is that this one is exclusively for the 64-bit platform, so this is only for prepared V4 and V5. So previously they supported the whole slew of ESP platforms. But they've decided that with this newest release, they will not include 32-bit support. I'm not 100% sure why, because there doesn't seem to be any reason, from my knowledge of the SDK, why the mesh layer should actually be any different from prepared V3 or 32-bit sims. Um, so yeah, that's rather interesting, that one. Also, the manual airport elevation correction tool that ships with it is currently not available. It is coming, but it is not available yet, so buyer beware. I would possibly suggest that you hold off purchasing this one, as much as it is a great product. I swear by, I used the previous iteration of the the next gen Ultimate Mesh. Absolutely swear by it, but even I will be holding off picking this one up straight away. Now on to pricing. So it's a bit of a hefty price, this one. So we're looking at 75 US dollars if you've never picked this one up previously. If you are a previous owner of the FS Global Ultimate, which was, and this is actually the other thing to note as well, they've streamlined their product offering. They used to offer two products. They used to offer their Global Ultimate Next Gen Edition and then their Global Edition. Essentially, the product did the same thing, but the global edition was not quite as accurate. Don't know why they would do that, why they would separate the two streams. It wasn't quite as accurate and didn't include the bathymetry mesh. It only included the terrain mesh, and it didn't. There were some key points it didn't do very well. So the global ultimate mesh was always the best of the top of the line, as it were. Now what they've done is they've streamlined their product offering. They've actually merged it all together. They're only offering the one product now, which is about bleeding time, I personally think. So what they're offering is they're offering an upgrade deal. So if you are a previous owner of the FS Global Ultimate Next Gen Mesh, then you can upgrade this one for 15 euros. Yeah, about 20 bucks. If you are a previous owner of the FS Global 2018, so the slightly lower quality one, then you still get a discount on the upgrade. You still get a fairly significant discount. You get this one for 25 euros, so 35 bucks or so. Just log in through your SIM Market account, purchase it, and you're all good to go. So yeah, that should be good to go. And that, as I said, that's pretty much it. I said I swear by mesh, terrain mesh is definitely better than the default mesh the ships was prepared. I swear by it, but I think just from reading some of the content here, I would probably just say I would strongly suggest, especially if you're a pilot that operates in more regional areas and not some of the major airports that the tubeliner pilots go to, I would probably wait until that airport elevation correction tool, that AFM tool, is available from pilots. So just word of warning. As I said, available now from Sid Markets. Moving out of the flight sim world and moving into the world of the permanent way, and train sim world saw a new locomotive release this week from developer Rivet Games with their release of the Deutsche Bahnhof BR204. Now this train was actually, I was reading about it, it was kind of interesting actually. So it had its origins in sort of the late 1950s as different newer designs started popping up, and it was as the diesel, as it sort of, the German railway network started to move from steam and started moving to diesel power. And this particular train originally started life being called the V100 because it's the initial release of it was a 1,000 horsepower locomotive, and it was built during the 1960s. And it was a double-ended locomotive with a cab in the middle, and it's a very iconic design, really, actually. And essentially it made it that it didn't matter whether it was pushing, pulling, or you had to change direction halfway through a route or whatever, because the vision was exactly the same. So it's a really interesting and very versatile design, really. During as of course of obviously post Second World War, Germany was divided. Once Germany sort of reunited, it was actually then well, while it was separated, it would then be reclassified as the Deutsche Rail 114, and then once the Germany was reunified, it would actually then be reclassified yet again for a third time to be the BR 204. And it's still to this day is still actually used as a shunting locomotive. So it's definitely a design that is definitely soldiered on, as it were, and actually has been updated and modified over the years have gone, and still very performing a very productive service to this day. Now, this one provides accurate true-to-life performance and handling, including three-stage fluid torque converter transmission gearbox with additional two-gear mechanical gearbox. Includes a full set of CIFA safety systems have been included as well. Switchable brake modes have been included, as well as the 3D model is accurate both internally and externally as well. Includes a full, authentic, detailed sound set recorded from a real locomotive as well. Includes an additional timetable mode and three engaging scenarios. Just so you're aware, in order to be able to utilize this add-on, you do need to have the main Spellestbahn Aschenberg Gemunden route for Train Sim World. It must be installed in your machine in order to be able to make use of this add-on. So this one's coming in pretty standard price for these guys, coming in at $20 US or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Moving out of the permanent way and moving on to the bitumen, saw another motorbike title released this week of MotoGP 2012. MotoGP 20. So this is the problem when you've got a year that starts and ends with the same number. So this is going, as I said, it's just this is an update of the franchise as well. So it's interesting what they've done with it, though, actually, and this is actually actually surprised they did this, to be honest. They've reintroduced the managerial career mode, which they pulled out. I want to say out of, I think it was 17 or 18 was the last time we saw this one. So it's been out for a while. So it's interesting that it's come back. So you actually go through. You can actually, you know, you can either use a real world team or create a brand new together as well, or it's up to you. And you can actually sort of you follow you have an influence on your drivers, on your mechanics, and all the different factors that make up a race team. So it's really interesting how they've done it. There's very little detail about how they've done it, but yeah, it is interesting that they've done it that way. You also have a variety of bike development milestones to go through as well. We're doing career tests, including different technical aspects, including updates to electronic traction control, engine brake systems, anti-wheelie systems. That only says like it takes the fun out of it. Power mapping, engine frame, and aerodynamics. It also has a slew of graphical improvements as well, improvements to the base engine as well. Includes a graphics editor, so you can actually to create your own liveries for your ride. A variety of historic rides, upgraded neural AI, which is always kind of interesting and scary, and a variety of dedicated servers, so you can challenge your friends to an online race. So as I said, it looks interesting, kind of cool. So this one's coming out pretty standard price. This one coming available $50 US, available on Steam for PC users, also available on consoles as well. This day one DLC came out as well for $10. Sorry, $5, which is a historic pack. So that essentially gave a few new bikes, gave 4 new bikes, gave Schwanz's Suzuki RGV 500. Abe's Yamaha was at F500, Melandri's Yamaha M1, and Edwards' Yamaha M1. So it gives you 3 new bikes. Up to you. Don't know whether it's worth it. But again, I'm not a motorbike aficionado, so I would just not judge anybody who gets it. So that one's available now from your favorite electronic games retailer, available now. And finally, rounding out the NovaWrap this week, we saw the release of a game that I thoroughly enjoyed its first generation of, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with the latest iteration of it. So this is 112 Operator. So the original game was 911 Operator, and I did a in-depth review of that title, and I absolutely love it. I think it was incredibly well done, and I think this is a title. I think that was a title, and I have a funny feeling that this one is a title that everyone should play. it's definitely come a long way. There's been a lot of development going on. They've taken a lot of learnings, a lot of things that they've learnt from the original title, and they've changed how they do a lot of things, which looks really, really interesting. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on here that's not just about the moving dots around on a map. There's a lot more here. There's a lot that you can learn about how to handle situations. There's a lot of very interesting facts that come through this. So I think it's a title that I recommend for everybody. As I said, the basic gameplay still looks like it's the same. You still work as a emergency services dispatch operator. Dispatching emergency services as required. You make the call on whether the call is real and how to respond to it and in what order and things like that. And you do it. This time the career mode though is focused in Europe rather than America. You've got a variety of a variety of maps are included, including about 30 real-world cities have been modeled in detail, and you can expand to other real cities as well. Entirely new set of emergency calls and large events, a redesigned campaign mode, objective systems, and there is a full story now as well. Day, night, weather, seasons, traffic all now influences what happens as well. And there's a new fire mechanic that instead you can actually, so if you don't get control of your fire fast, it will go out of control. So that's really interesting, really cool as well. Different situations, different visualizations, updated equipment and property games as well. So really cool, really interesting. The only thing that I'm curious about is that this release, while originally this was supposed to be a full release, it actually has turned out to be an actual beta release. And at least they've been honest about it, and they've said it is a beta release. So for the price they're charging for a pre-release title, I've got mixed feelings about it. As I said, I think the core game is great. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But as I said, it's just they at least are offering a discount. So at the moment, so standard price is going to be $25 US. They're offering a launch discount, as I said, because it's launched into beta, and it's interesting how they've done it as a release and not try to do an early access release. So I find that a bit weird. I'm guessing maybe there's a manipulation of the market going on here somewhere. I don't know. But you're looking at $21 US or your regional equivalent if you pick it up now on a bit of a launch special. So up to you guys if you want to get in while it's in early access. Well, it's in beta rather, not early access. But as I said, I think the overall concept it's going to be great. It looks amazing. Just as I said, I'm a little bit unsure about their release strategy. So yeah, there you go. Either way, available now on Steam. And with that, that rounds out the NovaWrap this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed these videos and you want to see more. And of course, if you do want to support the channel, so there are some links in the description down below for various different ways that you can support the channel, either through donations or through joining our Patreon, or just simply through sharing the Nova Week 24 love throughout the simulation community. All right, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care. Safe skies to all. Safe skies to all. Please wash your hands. Please stay socially distant. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.